Running through the desert required him to be alert for the creepy crawlies. He listened to music as he ran, but his eyes were on the path that wound over towards Benchmark Mountain. He had a gun with him for the off chance he'd have to deal with a rattler. Javelinas were another animal who'd attack. They were one of the reasons he refused to have a dog. Between javelinas and coyotes, a dog would draw those animals out from their hiding places. He had a 10 o'clock meeting in downtown Phoenix. The office was in one of the high-rises along 2nd Street. He had allowed 2 hours of driving time. The meeting would take an hour. By the time he got back home, it'd be close to 2, especially if he stopped in Anthem on his way back for some Chinese food at the food court in the Factory Outlet Mall. If his phone rang on his run, it'd be Diego. That was the benefit of being the leader of the gang. They didn't mess with him. Diego was second in command, so he got the calls, the headache, and hassles. He knew better than to bother Slade with the day-to-day problems of the gang. Slade remembered the first few years Diego took that responsibility on. He asked a lot of questions that Slade patiently answered. Diego didn't ask questions anymore. Finished with his run, Slade showered, ate a bite of breakfast, before he headed towards the interstate in his Silverado. It wasn't the kind of location he wanted to be seen on his motorcycle. He was about 15 minutes ahead of schedule. Enough time to grab coffee he'd need it. Right at 10, Slade took the elevator up to the 15th floor. He stepped out to see Cole lean against the wall. "Hey," Slade frowned, "what gives?" "I need to talk to you one-on-one," Cole said quietly. "Okay." Slade wasn't happy about it, but something about Cole's demeanor told him it was serious. Cole motioned him to follow. They stepped through a doorway into an office. It wasn't a suite, but a single office. The heavily tinted window opposite the door they walked in shone the sun in a depressing brown tint. The carpet was old and ratty. The room smelled of dust and neglect. Nothing was on the walls but holes where nails had held up whatever hung there. The chairs were new, at least, Slade thought, as Cole and him each took one and faced each other. Cole didn't wait for permission to speak. "The last time I was in New York having a visit with Diana, Agent Sam Ames asked me to meet with him. He opened his briefcase and handed me a file. It seems Hank has been doing a booming business on the side with Liza Holdings." "Who are they?" "Liza, short for Elizabeth, when shortened, is Beth Ames, the Honorable Beth Ames." "What?" Slade whispered. "Two couples, very corrupt government officials. Beth and Sam are in cahoots with New York Congresswoman Susan Williams, along with her husband, District Attorney Matt Fogel." "Hank Butler has been dealing on the side with them?" "He has. I told Sam that it was Hank's deal, not Desert Rattler's. I looked over everything carefully. We're never mentioned." Cole spoke. "They have so much dirt on him that if he gets caught, we won't escape. Sam rented the house I'm staying in with Jesse so that it can be used as a drop zone under the threat that if I don't, Hank goes down and the gang with him. When you ordered me to babysit Jesse, you were already second in line giving that particular order." Slade leaned forward. He propped his elbows on his knees and rested his head between his hands. He needed to think fast. "I told Sam I would under the condition that he worked directly with Hank on all of the arrangements, since Hank is the contact. He leaves you, me, and Diego out of it. I go up to the set with Jess. When I'm gone, they are free to do what they need to, but they won't be there when I get back with Jesse." "Good call." "Did he agree?" Slade sat back up straight. "He did," Cole continued. "The way I see it, two things will happen that might save our skin. One, it will uncover Hank's activities to the gang. He knows he'll need to face the consequences. You got that right. The other? I went to that meeting in a suit and tie with a video recorder disguised as an American flag on my lapel. He videotaped everything. Sam was too stupid to think he might be videoed, which tells me he's not as good as he thinks. He's sloppy. Slade closed his eyes. Hank is going to pay dearly for this. He bit out. Diego's name came up a time or two as well. I could never get it straight if they were throwing it in to make it seem more concrete than it is, or if Diego is involved as a backup, bystander, whatever the term might be. Slade got up. He paced the small office as Cole sat patiently. I'm thinking about purchasing a building outside of Wickenburg. It's a small building that can be easily turned into a bar with a steel shed on the yard. It's not easy to get to, which makes it perfect for us. I'll arrange for you, Diego, and I to ride out in the next few days to see it. While there, we'll have a discussion with Diego, but until then, just do what you said you would. Then I need to go shortly. Cole glanced at his watch. Jesse, Elaine, and the two meatheads are due on set in an hour. Slade walked to the door. Gang's meeting at the New River Bar tonight to hang out. I want you there. That will work. Jesse has a 4-hour salon appointment. Elaine and the meatheads will be with her. I need to go. Slade paused. Good work, Cole. The good old days are gone, aren't they? Loyalty has left with the years. Now it's every man for himself, but that doesn't work in an organization like ours. Which is why, when this movie is done, I'm back on my island. I won't see Arizona again. Cole said, I'm from the era where loyalty to the gang means more than my own life. Slade nodded. I am as well, Cole. Have a good day. He said and disappeared into the stairwell, too angry to stand and wait for the few seconds it would take the elevator to get there. He barely noticed the exit fly by for Chinese food. He wasn't hungry anymore. Neither was he angry. Cole's last remark was the most profound statement Slade could ever remember. I'm from the era where loyalty to the gang meant more than my own life. Slade repeated it out loud. Me too, buddy. Me too.